angry and bitter. I was so hateful. I
Mm.
was like, God, why did you do this to me? Like, why am I going through this? This is my dream. Why are you taking it away? I was so victimized, you know?
Right.
And now I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, thank you for this pain, because I wouldn't be doing this right now if it
Yeah.
wasn't for that.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you find yourself. Welcome to the Stepping Out series. It's all about ordinary people like you and me who decided to step out in faith into our dreams, our hopes, our vision, despite the odds, despite the fear, despite wherever else would hold us back. Today, we have the awesome opportunity to hear from Ashwin Shenoy, my very good friend, artist name, Xenai.
Yes.
Ness, nailed it. Xenai, he's an amazing individual. He won the Yasalam Emerging Talent Competition, which is a competition all across the Gulf. And he came in first place for that one. But more than that, he's an incredible individual. I've known him for years and years now at this point, and he's an incredible person. And so give it up. Claps.
More than 10
for
years.
Ashwin. Must be more than 10 years.
Yeah, right?
What year are we in?
2020,
2020. We graduated 2012.
2012. Well, I've known you before 2012.
Yeah, I've known you since like 2006, must be. Year 7, whatever year that was.
No, I was in year 8. I
Year
came
8.
in year 8. So I've known you, I think 4 years plus. 8.
Yeah.
So 8 plus 4, 12 years. Oh, dude, thanks for the lovely introduction, man. That was awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it's actually for some context for those of you who don't know. So both Ashwin and I, we're both Indian, but we grew up in Bahrain, which is a small little island that no one knows about off the coast of Saudi Arabia. Dude, do you tell everyone that you grew up in Dubai?
I tell everyone I grew up in Saudi's Las Vegas.
That's actually got a lot of truth to it. But the awesome thing about Ashwin is he is a musician. He went to Berkeley College of Music. I actually remember in school, we used to give you such a hard time. We used to call it Berkeley. The other one that's actually not too far from me over here, Berkeley, UC Berkeley. But this is Berkeley.
The best part is when I tell people I went to Berkeley, they're like, "Oh my God, UC Berkeley." I just be quiet. I don't say anything else. Like, yeah, I went there.
Dude, do you know what I found out? So I live in the Bay Area right now, and then I spoke to people from UC Berkeley. They call it the poor man's Stanford.
Really? What?
Isn't that so funny?
That's crazy to hear, because like over here we grew up like, oh my God, UC Berkeley, like this is the shit. You go here and you're set for life. And then poor man's Stanford.
And then over here, this is for the people who didn't make it into Stanford. But Ashwin is an incredible musician, and bro, I think the most incredible thing about you is I think I've seen you. So just a bit of history on Ashwin and his musicality. I met Ashwin when he was doing screamo music. I clearly remember seeing like your hair was pretty long. Then you cut it and now it's growing back out again.
It was like till my shoulders, I think. I mean, till my
Yeah, so I remember in year 8, one of the first videos you ever showed me. What was that competition called in Bahrain? Battle of the Bands or something?
No, it wasn't Battle of the Bands. It was like this Reflux Festival.
Yes.
That was going on back in 2009. Yeah.
So that must have been the first year I met you.
Yes. Yeah.
2009, so 11 years.
But yeah, I remember. Oh, it was crazy. It was kind of like a Battle of the Bands, but they made it more like a showcase for every metal band that was rock and metal band and stuff.
Yeah, so I met you there when you were doing screamo, headbanging.
Yeah.
I need to edit a way into this as well. But after all the years of us hanging out, we did a lot of music together in school. We organized a bunch of concerts and events together. I forced you into doing pop music with me.
Dude,
which was so contrary.
You were a big influence though for what I do now, though. That's why.
Do you think so?
Like, it's a good thing. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you bringing in pop music, and I was like, man, pop music sucks. And I was like, what? I'm doing this shit, you know? And then like the more I was doing it, because I was just playing drums, remember? Like I was playing drums for you. And then yeah, you got the guitar and singing down, and I was just backing you on drums. So the more I was like, hey, I don't have to like, do some crazy blast beats and like headbang and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, I can chill out. This is nice. I'm
But in
enjoying.
rehearsal, you definitely did do blast beats.
Yeah, I remember. I make like an Adele song, singing "Fire in the Rain."
Mm-hmm.
Fire in the Rain. Oh my god, I made it so metal in our rehearsals.
That video is actually still on YouTube. But yeah,
Is it?
yeah, it is still on YouTube. Look it up.
Oh my god. Okay, I'll check it out.
All right, dude. YouTube has bro. I mean, this is going on YouTube, but this is true story. If you type my name, the very first video of me ever singing live in Unplugged, the very first one we organized, Kripa's mom put it up on YouTube, and it's still there.
Wow.
It's so bad.
Dude, I need to go watch this.
It's so bad. I'm wearing like a bright blue shirt, and my acoustic guitar is not plugged in, and my voice sounds.
Wait. Which year was this?
That must have been like 2010. We graduated 2012. So actually no, 2009, 2010, one of those years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
So yeah, I saw you the progression from you going to metal to getting a little bit involved in pop, doing acoustic, and then you went to Berkeley, and then I remember your EP, your acoustic EP. That you released on SoundCloud. And then I actually remember one of your first couple of songs that you showed me, that when you first had some of your hip hop songs come out with rap.
Oh, yeah, but that was much later because I was like just doing the instrumental, like, ambient acoustic and stuff.
Yeah.
And then after that.
Yeah. So I think you released that privately, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah, I was like hip hop for my friends. That's it. I didn't want to show anyone at the time. I was just like, okay, let's just see how it is. Am I just, messing about here? Like maybe this is just for fun, whatever. And people were like, yeah, this is cool, you should get into it. I was like,
but
okay.
So that's pretty nuts. Like the fact that you went from all the way from metal to now, I mean, we'll talk about it later, but the fact that you transition all the way from metal to rap now, completely out of character for you, for anyone who grew up with you. What was that like?
Rap and singing, like R&B. I have like some really slow songs too, so it's, what is that like? I honestly don't know, man. Like this is just happened. Okay, but there's a lot of reasons behind it. One of the biggest reasons was, you remember, like when I went to Berkeley, I was like, I'm gonna come out the best guitarist in the world. That's what I said. I was like,
you are a very good guitarist, though. Not many people know that.
Thank you. But yeah, not many people know that. I don't showcase it enough. But I told myself I was gonna come out of that school the best guitarist in the world. Like I used to look up to Steve Vai and like Joe Satriani and like, Jeff Loomis and all that stuff. And I used to be like, yo, I'm gonna come out better than these guys. They won't even know it. And halfway through Berkeley, I'm getting this pain like here, okay? And this sharp pain is just increasing, and I don't know what it is. Is it because I'm practicing like the wrong way or whatever it is? It could be bad posture. First of all, I'm playing the guitar right-handed, even though I'm a left-handed person, right? So maybe it's that. But this pain started spreading down to my shoulder blade all the way, paralyzing my right arm, and then giving me shocks in the back of my head. Right. But it didn't start off that way. It just gradually became worse and worse and worse. And as it became worse, I couldn't practice anymore. I couldn't practice for more than 10, 15 minutes without having this insane like muscle twitch, And it was extremely painful that I couldn't do the classes. Really? So all my classes in Berkeley, like that I had to practice for, I couldn't practice for them. And I was like starting to like feel like I was falling back on my performance degree. So I was feeling really bad about it, but then I had music production engineering to fall back on. So I was like, okay, I'll work on this for some time. And I was working on that for more. All my friends and my peers were like, they just like kept going ahead of me. And I'm like, oh, and I'm not being called to jam sessions or like practice sessions anymore because I couldn't even keep up with them. They're obviously like getting much better and better and better. And just, just talking about it, I'm already feeling it. It's so crazy. But this pain stopped me from playing the one instrument that I thought that was gonna make me the best, you
Hmm.
know? And this was my dream. So suddenly this dream is starting to not feel like a thing anymore.
Hmm.
It's starting to fall away. And I go into
Hmm.
like this depression. But I still love music, and you know that. And I
Mm-hmm.
still played other instruments. So I'd sneak into the drum practice rooms, even though it wouldn't let me practice drums. I'd sneak into the drum practice rooms, and then I'd go to. I know I bought a bass. I started playing bass. I started programming beats on the laptop, and I just started writing random words down. Just what I was feeling, the thoughts I was going through, and
Hmm.
just putting it down. And then I just ended up making this like weird rap song. And it was really bad at the time, you know? It was really bad. But I just loved it. I loved it. I enjoyed the feeling of like making everything and singing into the laptop, into the mic, I mean. Um, writing my own lyrics, mixing it because I learned about mixing and production and all that stuff, and then
Hmm.
coming up with something that I could just enjoy, sit back and listen to. I was like, damn, I made that. That's cool, you know? And like this time it's my voice on it. I can't play the guitar, but I'm at least I'm like showcasing something else. And I was
Hmm.
a really bad, I wasn't as good of a singer at the time, but this was the only way for me forward now. So I had to keep pushing, you know?
Dude, what was that like? So, I mean, I could imagine there'd be a bunch of people on the same boat as you, right? They had one dream and they're like certain that's going to be it. Like what, like this is the question I wanted to ask you because I knew that this would be part of your story. Like, what did it look like? Because it sounds like you've reinvented yourself a bunch of
Yes,
times by this point.
100%.
What's
Very.
that been like? Like,
Well, I mean, I was forced to, right? Because you get one dream and then suddenly those plans don't work out. Some people are able to bypass and do something else. I was told just recently, actually, I went to the neurologist. He's like, if you want to continue playing guitar, you either got to quit or you play. You quit. I was like, how can I continue by quitting? Or you play left-handed. So I have to learn the instrument all over again,
wow.
left-handed, and that's kind of weird for me because I've practiced so long one way, and I got to switch,
Mm,
and so it's like learning a new instrument all over again. But I didn't have time to do that in Berkeley. Maybe I'll have time like on and off to do it now, but in Berkeley, I had exams to do. So I had to force myself to practice and everything. And as it got worse and worse, I was like, okay, this cannot be my career anymore. I have to give up on it. But
mm,
I'm not going to give up on my dream. And my dream was to make music and connect to people and like inspire people. So
mm,
how can I do that and not do the thing that I thought I was going to do?
mm,
So this forced me to like start singing and go
mm.
out there. I joined the Indian ensemble. I joined the Indian ensemble on voice. I didn't want to do guitar. I knew that if I did guitar, I'd actually like, they'd want me as a guitarist. But
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to do that. I wanted to just stick to voice because like this may be the only thing I can do from now on if I'm not able to play guitar anymore. So I kept singing and singing, and it was bad. I had embarrassing moments. My body would shake and stuff. Like you're doing something that you don't even know, but you're in a college where everyone has been doing it for years and
Mm.
singing for like amazing. They know how to do it, and you're like, oh, and your like voice tightens up, and you're like, and it's like, and no matter how many times I sang and unplugged and everything, it felt like I didn't know how to sing at all. And I had the septum surgery because
Hmm.
my nose was blocked like for 20 years of my life. And when that septum surgery like opened up my nose and I could finally breathe through my nose again, I didn't know how to sing because it was like a completely
Dang.
different thing. I'm starting to breathe through my
Mm,
nose and my voice is coming out from a different place. I'm using my diaphragm and this is completely, it's weird. Um, so I just like discovered more and more things that I could do, and I had to practice and I had to work on. I had to learn
mm,
how to become a front man. I had to learn how to be confident on stage. And I was too scared for that because I'd usually hide behind my instrument and just play what I had to play. But all of a sudden, I'm in the front and I have to talk to people. I have to communicate with them. I have
mm.
to, say what I'm feeling. So that is what helped me.
Yeah, dude, I find it kind of interesting because it's kind of like the vision almost for you stays the same, but it's just kind of the
Yeah.
way you're approaching a change. And it kind of like it's interesting because sometimes you got to pivot or you die. Like, you know what I mean? There's so
Yes.
many companies in the
Exactly.
world when they don't pivot at key moments,
Yeah.
they completely die off and they lose sight of the vision and get so. It's kind of like if you know what your vision is, then you can always figure out other strategies and ways to get there, but not being
Yeah.
so sold out on the method. Does that make
So true.
sense?
So true.
And and
Yes.
and it sounded like you pivoted. I mean, of course, it's so easy to say you pivot well now, 2020 vision, and
Yeah.
it's easy to say that. But I'd be curious to know as well from you, like in Berkeley, with such high caliber musicians, how did you still stay committed to the vision, even with so much comparison going on?
So that was a difficulty. And that was the hardest part. And that was where I had to, like, overcome my depression, anxiety, performance anxiety, and like all these judgments I was having on myself. More than comparing myself to other people, I was judging and criticizing myself too hard because I was
Mm,
obviously around amazing musicians and artists and really talented individuals. But I mean, they didn't know what I was going through, and I didn't tell anyone because
mm,
I was in denial of this pain for a long time. I was in denial for the longest time, so I never told anyone. A lot of people still don't know about it.
right.
um
And
and
I can
now
see
I'm
how
finally
that'd be hard for you, right? Because you've been the guitar guy for
exactly,
a
I've been,
decade, like a long, you've been the
yeah,
guitar guy.
I was like sweeping and like
Yeah.
tapping and doing all these crazy things and learning new harmonic. I don't know, like I started doing some crazy acoustic stuff, especially when we started hanging out and we were listening to Andy McKee and we were trying to,
Hmm.
like,
Trying to copy him.
um, exactly, exactly. What was the name of that song? Drifting, right?
Drifting.
Drifting.
Such a good
Yeah,
song.
that's a good song. Um, so amongst all the comparisons and all the stuff, I have to stick to my vision because I don't know, my heart is very stubborn to a certain extent.
Hmm.
It's very, very, very stubborn. So when I had to realize I had to give up this dream, I was like, I don't want to give it up. I don't want to. But if I physically can't approach this thing anymore, how can I still live my dream?
Hmm.
And singing, rapping, and acting, dancing, all that stuff came into my life as a gift. Is like as a result, you let go of one thing, and then like ton of like other things come in the
Hmm.
picture. As
Yeah.
like like, it's like a way of like this higher power is just saying, you listen, it's not over. And in fact, this was just the beginning.
Hmm.
So that was very assuring.
Yeah. If you could summarize it like down to like, I don't know, maybe like 2, 3 things that you think were like the major keys for you getting through the comparison, what do you think it would be?
Getting through the comparison. Okay. The more you compare yourself, the harder it gets, right? Um, but I still kept doing it. It was like a mechanism that's going on in the back of my head. I just had to stop listening and just
Hmm.
listen. I just had to tell myself, I'm in a school where the method and techniques and calculating is like cool, but that wasn't helping me. Like even with
Hmm.
guitar, I played guitar just from the ear and just like a little bit of tabs, and I was like playing it from like the heart. And then when I started learning all these chord scales and chords and positions and everything, I started looking at the guitar too mathematically, and it stopped me.
Hmm.
So you have to learn to let go of your analytical mind when you want to create something purely from your
Hmm.
heart. And the more you create from your heart, you will naturally develop that skill, and your technique will improve and stuff. But you have to bypass this this kind of voice in your head that's like always telling you, well, this is good, but that's better. And if you can't do it better than that, then there's no point in doing this. And then
Hmm.
all this kind of self-destructive, behavior comes into the picture. You have to just bypass it.
Hmm.
Meditation helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Meditation helped so much that it was like almost like I was turning down the volume in my head,
Hmm.
you know? Like there's this narrative going on in my head, and then all of a sudden when I would start meditating, it was like slowly coming down. And then all of a sudden I have so much energy. And this
Very
energy
good.
is coming out of nowhere, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I just went to my laptop, started making beats. I kept on making beats after beat after beat. And now just like, I didn't even know about sounds. I didn't know how to make hip hop music at the time, right? I just knew how to record my guitar, put it into the thing, and then actually program some programmed drums. But hip hop beats are completely different sounds, and 808s and synthesizers and all these things
Dude,
that you're
completely
using.
different domain for you.
Completely. And I just started enjoying it more again. It felt new. It felt like I was that kid back in Bahrain when I was playing the guitar and like recording my first guitar song ever, the instrumental. I was like, it felt just like that. And I just started enjoying it again. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is my thing. And the beautiful part about this is when you accept that struggle and accept it as a challenge, you overcome it more so than just a challenge. You change. You don't just become one dimensional. You open up and you learn so many different things from what you're doing. Rapping helped me learn public speaking. Like
That's
it
true.
gave me this. You're right. And it helped me become more vocal about what I was thinking. Singing helped me become more expressive with my voice. Beat making helped me feel grooves and rhythms more. Then I took a dance class. There was a professor. There's still a professor. He's not in Berkeley anymore. He moved to another university. But his name is Dwayne Lee Holland Jr. This guy
Not to be
changed
confused
my
with Dwayne Johnson.
No, not to be confused. Wait. However, if you go look at him, he pretty much is as, like big.
What's his
And he's
name?
like that. Dwayne, Duane, and then space
Dwayne.
LWE,
Say that again. Dwayne.
Duane,
Yeah.
space Lee, LWE, and then space Holland Jr. So he is a dancer, he's a singer, he's an actor. And he came into Boston Conservatory, and Berkeley had its first dance class. I enrolled in this dance class. No, that's not him. I'll send you a picture. That is not him, though.
I mean, both. I thought it was him because both The Rock and him both don't have hair. So I'm like,
No,
maybe that's the thing.
No, he has a lot of hair. Actually, he just cut it recently, but he had like quite some. He had long hair.
I think I found him. But anyways, continue. Oh, there we go.
There you go. That's him.
There we go.
He looks very young for his age. Listen.
He looks nothing like The Rock. What are you talking about?
I mean, no, when you look at his body, dude, like this guy is like, he was going into the Olympics.
No, really?
Brother was planning to go into the Olympics, but then, Corona happened. But I planning to go for, fitness weightlifting championship.
There you go. Anyways, tell me about dancing.
So I took a dance class with him, and he would tell everybody in this class. So he was like this kind of Jesus figure for us, like he made us feel like there was a brighter future. No matter how, where we were in our life, like we would look forward coming to this class. And there's something about him, his presence, his nature, his behavior towards other people. It's so uplifting. It's so enriching, and it's so, he's so humble, right? He told all of us that you are an artist. You are not a singer. You're not a guitarist. You're an artist.
Good.
If you're an artist, you are a creator, and you create from your soul. An artist creates through presence, right? The presence you have in your body, in your soul, your energy that you have, is able to translate itself into whatever field that you do, whether it's dancing, it's singing, it's music, or it's acting, right? So that changed my life completely, and that kind of like reinforced this whole change, this pivot that I just made. I made this pivot, and I didn't know if it was the right thing to do. My parents and everyone around me was like, yo, stick to what you're good at, stick to guitar. I'm like, I can't, but I didn't know how to say that to them. I didn't know if this pain was like a real thing. So everyone around you is telling you, what are you doing? Why are you singing? Like, what? Just stick to what you're good at. You're like amazing in this thing. And I'm like, I can't do it anymore, right? But then this guy comes along, and he's saying, you're an artist. An artist can do whatever they want. As long as you stay true to yourself, you can be a great dancer, you can be a great actor, be a great singer, everything feeds into one another.
Right.
Everything helps the other. So
Mm.
the dance class was helping me make better beats.
Wow.
Acting, he told us, when you hear about the next audition, I want you to fearlessly just go into it. I don't care if you never acted before, just go. And I'm
Good.
like, whoa. So I got my first audition and I completely bombed it, by the way. It was horrible.
But
But I
that's
was
not,
like, I'm just gonna go.
it's fine. You know, that's not even
Yeah,
the point.
exactly. I stepped out of this box I had for so long, this little shell, and like all of a sudden I felt invincible. After that first audition, I felt amazing. I felt like I could do anything, you know? I go to the audition, I mess it up, and then what's so crazy is like literally a week after, I get a call from a director saying he wants me to audition because because of the audition, I put up my whole profile on backstage.com and everything.
Yeah.
Then I get a call for a short film, and I auditioned and I got it immediately. He was like, "You're the one. You have to come." And I was like, "Whoa, okay." It's my first ever acting gig, and I've never acted before. I never did drama in school. I was so bad in drama in St. Chris, you know. But this was like a whole new thing, and because of what Dwayne was saying, that everything is helping the other. Acting helped me sing better, right? Because it helped me emote more to my voice and my body and everything. And then the music was helping my acting. And everything was just feeding one another. And I was like,
That's
whoa,
amazing.
I don't have to just be the guitarist anymore. I can be this artist. I can express myself in different ways. And as long as I'm staying present and using my presence in the field that I enter into, I will always be true.
Yeah.
I'll always be an artist
Dude,
and
I
true
think
to
I
myself.
really loved in particular like two things that you said that really stood out to me. I mean, I think the first thing is in meditating, but more than meditating, I think a lot of people don't know that they have the right to choose the thoughts they think or not. You know,
Yes.
like in the Bible, and you know, me and you were of different faiths, but that's fine. Like
Yeah.
we love each other, and
Yeah.
like complete where and what the scripture says in the Bible, it says, "Take captive every thought and make it obedient to God," and that gives
100%.
us permission as individuals. Like if a thought comes, we've got to understand that it's something external to us, something that comes knocking at our mind, at our heart, and we give it permission to come in or not. And we've really got to ask ourselves, like, is this something that I'm going to live with, or is it something I'm not going to live with?
Yeah, and we have the power, we have the control to do that.
And the thing is,
And
just because and I also believe as well, like, just because you think something, like, no, I also say not every thought is worth thinking.
yeah,
You shouldn't be thinking
yeah,
all the thoughts that come into your head. There's some trash thoughts that come into our head
of course.
every single day of our lives. We're gonna choose,
Yeah,
are these the thoughts that I'm gonna meditate and think of in my life? Or am I gonna choose more fruitful thoughts, ones that are actually gonna build me up, not tear me down? Um, for example, even when you talk about comparison, right? And how meditation was a big part in playing with comparison. There's nothing good in life that comes out of comparing yourself. Nothing. If anything,
mm,
you like, it steals joy. Comparison is fully a thief of joy.
yeah, yeah. And also, I first of all, 100% of what you just said. Not every thought that comes into your head is you. You don't have to identify with it. You don't have to make it, oh, if this is, I'm thinking some trash thoughts, does that mean Ashwin is a bad person? No. Your trash thoughts are also coming from what you are seeing in everyday life and the
Totally.
nonsense that you're feeding yourself. So it doesn't necessarily have to be you. If the
Mm,
thoughts come through you, let it go. Like you're just letting this water go back and you're letting a river flow. Don't block it,
100%.
right? And what you said, what's the last thing you just said
No
about
idea.
comparison? Yeah, comparison. That was very true. And the other thing that's true, like very similar to what comparison, you know how you said comparison steals your joy. It
Mm,
steals the spontaneity, the inner child in you it just dies when you keep comparing.
mm,
The other thing is also reason and logic. There's a limit to how much you should use reason and logic in your life.
hmm.
Because if you only use logic and reason to go about every situation you do, then you won't really live joyfully either. You won't feel so, you won't give yourself a chance to be spontaneous and be childlike, be creative and do stupid things and foolish things, you know. And the foolish things are what make you grow as a creator, as a person who is creative.
Mm.
And what was I going to say? Like, if I had taken this situation and like, okay, logically, I've already come this far as a guitarist. I should just find ways and spend so much more money into fixing the situation, which I already did and still isn't fixed. You know,
Mm.
logically, you know, I should have just stuck to it and just become a professional and worked on my guitar album and being like, hey guys, check out my instrumental guitar album, which I was like painstakingly recording and honestly don't even enjoy it anymore because it just hurts too much to play. That no, that's not, you
Yeah,
know,
100%.
right?
Mm.
Because if you go that way, then you're like, okay, you're using logic and you may be successful with it, but are you going to be happy? Are you going to enjoy it? You want to be in
Mm.
this place where you're always like, you don't regret anything. And I don't regret the change that's happened so far. I'm actually thankful. Now looking back, at the time I was so like angry and bitter. I was so hateful.
Mm.
I was like, God, why did you do this to me? Like, why am I going through this? This is my dream. Why are you taking it away? I was so victimized, you know?
Right.
And now I'm looking back and I'm like, wow, thank you for this pain, because I wouldn't be doing this right now if it
Yeah.
wasn't for that.
Amazing. Like, I was actually going to ask you that question. Just wrote it down. Like, do you wish it didn't happen to you?
Not at all. Now I wish, I mean, I would do it all over again,
Mm.
which is crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was such a difficult and painful phase in my life. Like I was in a very dark time.
Yeah.
But now looking back, I'm like, I'm so glad I came out of it. And I'm so glad that, you know, not only did I come out of it just like survived, I'm saying I came out of it with all these
So
other
good,
gifts
man.
that I didn't know I had. And I feel like there's no such thing as, you know, we are meant to do one thing and you can't do anything else. I feel like this this proved to me, this entire experience proved to me that we as human beings are capable of anything we want to do, especially what
Mm.
we want to set ourselves out for, especially
Mm.
our passions.
Yeah. Bro, I think that's awesome and so valuable. And even when you think about, do you wish it didn't happen to you? Like, the one thing that I really love about your story is you had every right to get bitter and stay there. Bro, you could have easily, like, you're a smart guy. I remember your grades. You got really good grades. You could have easily gone into some sort of corporate job and be like, I used to be able to shred on the guitar. Like, I was so awesome. And like, you know, you could stay in that bitter
Yeah.
place and lose sight of
Yes.
your vision. But it's amazing how I think that resilience part of it, where you decide, okay, it may not look like how I imagine it, but now I'm going to pivot and now I'm going to go the other way. And it's still going to be in line with my vision, but I'm not going to get bitter. Like, it's a cheesy proverb, but it's like, don't get bitter, get better. Like, keep moving forward.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's true.
And it's like
Yeah.
a bitter heart does nothing for you. It just makes you like, I never want us to live with the sort of mentality where it's just like, remember the good old days? Remember the good old days, like living back
Yeah, like
there in the
good old
past.
days. Yeah,
It was good old days. I love school. It's actually
yeah.
funny whenever I talk to school about people, like, I have nothing bad to say about school. I really enjoyed school.
Right.
It was awesome. We
But
had a
we
lot of
don't want to
fun.
keep repeating that to enjoy today. Like, oh, remember the good old days? Like, yeah, you know, the only source of happiness I get is when I remember the day in school. Like, what? No, man. You're like,
Mm.
you got so much right now.
And I think that's what a
And
sweet
also,
spirit does for you, right? Like, having a
yeah,
sweet spirit about you, that you take things on as they come,
yeah, yeah.
and you don't let your heart get too like weighed down when it comes to circumstances in life.
Very true. And I think that also came from my upbringing, my mom especially.
Hmm.
She's always been like, be grateful for what you have. You have all four limbs in your body. You have your fingers, you have so many things to be grateful for. Why aren't you grateful? And I was like in, you know, I was in this very like angsty teenager mood and I was like, what the hell does that mean? Like, I don't give a shit, you know? What? And like she'd always say this over and over again, and I'd be like, oh my god, it's so cheesy, so cliche, it's bullshit. But no, it's not. It's like now I look back and like, damn, she's right, you know. And now I actually wake up and I'm always like, wow, thank you. I can breathe normally. I can see. I have all my senses right now. I have my body and everything. And the more I'm being grateful for all these little things, the more energy and strength I have for the rest of the day, and I feel more positive about the situations and challenges that come my way. It's such a different thing. And dude, also you're right about the whole grades thing. My mom and my dad was like, you got like A stars, you got A's in like all the sciences. You could have gone into engineering, you could be a physicist. And I did kind of. I love physics.
You
I love
did.
astrophysics, and I love, yeah.
I hated
I remember like
physics.
everyone was like, dude, you're such a weirdo. Why do you love physics? And I'm like, dude, physics is the shit. It's the bomb.
Hey, you never know. Like maybe there'll be a time in your life where your artistry and your physics could come together.
which
You
is
just never know.
which is a plan of mine. I have an idea for what I want to do for creating a renewable energy source. I want to redesign one of the renewable energy um, things, processes.
Hmm.
The windmill. I want to redesign the windmill basically, and my love for physics is like what's kind of keeping me going with that. I really want to do that with what I achieve from my artistry, like my music and stuff, with the influence and fame or whatever. I want to use that for good reasons, and I want to use that to like kind of redesign most of the outdated things that we have so far and bring up like a whole new thing. And my love of physics is like all about that. It's like, oh my god, viscosity, like friction.
Dude, tell me this. When it comes to your music, why are you an artist?
I just love it. I don't know. I can't say there's the why is there's so many. I mean, are you talking about like personally why, or like there's the bigger why? I mean, the bigger why
Whatever you think.
was, okay, honestly, I've always wanted to bring positive change into the world. When I was 7 years old, dude, I can't believe this. I was only 7 years old. I drew this giant spire. My mom would tell me I always wanted to be an environmental scientist. I drew this
Really?
giant spire, this tall spire, this tower that would spew like chemicals into the ozone layer that would repair the ozone layer.
Dude, that's
Because
so
I
fun.
heard so much about the ozone layer. I was only 7, dude. I was only
How
fucking
cool is
7.
that?
And all my other friends were like, dude, what the hell are you? What's wrong with you? Um, and I was always very passionate about the environment. I still am, but at the same time, there's only so much I can do from where I am, and I'm also very passionate about animals, and just Mother Earth and nature and stuff. So I I've always wanted to express how I felt and the pain that I felt about what was happening in the world, but not just the pain, but I want to express what I was going through. Initially, it was only pain. And then now there's like happiness, joy, gratitude, and all these other things. And I'm like, okay, I can express all these other things into my music and stuff. And if along the way I can inspire a single person or connect to a single person, that is like huge for me. Okay, you know that I just dropped Fool yesterday, right? My music video.
The new music video.
Okay.
We're going to play
So
it after
someone
this YouTube clip, by the way.
amazing. Thank you. Thank you for
Of
that.
course.
I hope you guys enjoy it. So someone messaged me saying, I'm literally, he had he was engaged for like 5 years to this girl, and it just fell apart. And no matter what he's trying to do, she's not giving him the attention right now, and he's in a very dark place. And I released the song, and he listens to it. He watches the video. He's listening to the lyrics and stuff, and he's like, "You just made me feel like I'm not alone."
Wow.
Because he's in a very, very dark place, and he feels like the world is meaningless and there's no point to life right now.
Man.
And he messaged me personally. He said, you won't believe it, but I'm going through the same thing, and your song just really made me feel a lot better, a whole lot better. Like I don't feel so alone, and I can your song puts everything I'm feeling into words, and I get to listen to it, and it kind of it comforts me,
Wow.
And I was like, wow, like this is huge. And I was like, obviously, I personally told him, like, if you ever need to talk about this, I'm here. But at the same time, like, I couldn't believe that my own personal story, like my breakup and whatever I went through, is now helping a bunch of other people. So even if one person connects to it personally or even on a deeper level, it's amazing that it can have that effect.
Yeah.
So obviously this is also another reason, this became another reason why I became an artist, to inspire, motivate people, to help them be the best selves that they want to choose to be. Like the ones that want to, go after their passion, I want to inspire them to do that. The ones that are feeling like they have no hope, I want to give them that. All of that. And then with all of this, I create this army of people that are willing to bring positive change into the world. And this is one of my bigger goals, which is the environment and renewable energy and changing a lot of things. And, we'll see where it goes with that.
Man, so good. I just think about you could have easily in your own experience not wanted to share that even in a song or bring it out in the public, which I'm sure even releasing that song must have been a very, very vulnerable moment for you. Just like, crap, people are going to know about stuff now. But isn't it amazing how we often undervalue our own experiences so much, thinking that it won't bring value to people. But it's amazing that I remember even when I first decided that I was going to just put out, like even how this podcast was inspired, like when I first put out one of my first songs out and I was telling people about it, and I told them it came from a place of perfectionism, not thinking that it'd be good enough, this, that, and that. It's actually so funny. People preferred that part more than my music, which is funny. And I don't take it in a bad way, because people all over the world, they are struggling with perfectionism. They're struggling with fear. They are, and perfectionism, what is that? It's like, I'm going to put it out, but I got to wait until it's perfect. And then I'm going to put it out, because otherwise I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to look dumb. And the amount of people that responded to me for that, saying that I've always wanted to do this, but I just never did it because I was scared. And it just shows I didn't think much of it. I just wanted to put music out because I never had before. That was my aim. And it was for myself, to be perfectionism for myself. But it's amazing how your story and my story, and then how it all just kind of combines together, and just living life for other people is just a better way to live,
So
just
true.
Serving other people. That's what his life is about.
Very, very, very true. And what's really crazy is the Fool, right? When I look back in hindsight, because I released a song in April. I released a song April 2020. I wrote the song in 2019, January, right? And when I look back now, this song means more than just a breakup song. It's not just a heartbreak song. And I don't know if you read the caption on the IGTV post, but I want to read it out here because I really feel like this relates to what we're talking about. And it says, okay, Fool isn't just a heartbreak song as most people would think. Yes, the lyrics talk about someone who played with my emotions while I was too blind to see what had become of our relationship. However, it also talks about a shedding of the old and bringing in the new. In truth, it is really a conversation between who I am and who I was. The irony is that the conversation is ongoing and will never stop as long as I continue to learn, make mistakes, grow, and change for the better. You will look like a fool when you pursue something that everyone around you thinks that you're not cut out for. You will fall and you will get laughed at, but you will pick yourself up again and again till finally the ones who were laughing become the fools. But instead of turning away, you guide and inspired them with love and compassion, which is a fool's errand,
Man, that's so fire.
Thanks, man.
Good one, man. That's so good.
Thanks, dude. Thank you. But that's what the song means. It's brought a whole new meaning to me now, and also the whole tarot card, the Fool, is meant to represent growth and represent change for the better and everything. So I accepted that, okay, if I'm going to look like a fool, it's okay. I'll accept that. But I'm learning and growing so much more. I'm changing. The amount of change I've had in 1 year compares to 10 years I've had when I was in school, just pursuing one thing, And it's all about the mentality that you have. Take things on in the now and really appreciate it and enjoy the process of being laughed at. This is all a story. And we've seen movies about this. We've seen TV shows about this. So why can't we play the underdog for now and then work our way up? you know?
Yeah, I think that's so true. I think with all courage always requires some level of foolishness, right? To step out, you've
Yes,
got to be foolish. I think courage and foolishness, there's a sense to it because it's kind of like you could look like a fool stepping out, but I would rather be one of those people who stepped out than those who never did.
very
Like
true.
I would be around those people. And there is a
Yes,
sense of like you're taking a risk on yourself, which is a scary thing to put yourself out
our
there.
reputation, our image, and what people think of us is definitely at stake.
Hmm.
But is that really so important to us?
Hmm.
Because when we change ourselves, that reputation, that image also change with us.
Hmm.
And the people who hold on to that image are the ones who are like, oh, this guy's never going to make it. It's never going to happen, whatever. But then when you actually start happening, then you're like, wait, I've only been holding on to an image I've had of this person, but he's changed like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But then you're like, whoa, I've been holding on to like something that's not real, you
Mm.
know?
Dude, I love it. One quote in the Bible, it says, God uses the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. That's one of my favorite
Wow,
verses ever. Because,
wow,
I don't think too highly of myself in any sort of way, but I just think of it like, in a divine sense, how God has used, it also after that, it says God uses the simple to confound the proud. Um, and it's the same idea that when you step out there, like it's okay to look foolish. You may feel like you have nothing
yeah,
to offer, but there
yeah.
you just never know what might be out there. Um, yeah. Hey, I want to ask you this question. We were kind of discussing this before we started recording.
Mhm.
Um, I had three questions for you, and it's 9:11 p.m. at night. What time is it in Bahrain right now?
It's 7-Eleven.
I have no idea how long this is going for, but it's fine. I'm loving it. Um, yeah. So when it came to you pursuing your dreams, what fears did you feel like you had to break through?
Whoa, a lot. Um, when it came to pursuing my dreams or fears, okay, first of all, I was so comfortable in my own introverted shell. I knew that, okay, I can just sit here, make music by myself. I don't have to go out there. But when I was starting to sing, you have to go out there a little bit. You have to sing. People want to see you perform, and you want to perform. I wanted to perform, but I was too scared to do it. I remember my knees would tremble when I'd step on stage, and my voice would tighten up. It's like I had a lump in my throat. That movie, Get Out, right?
I thought you were going to say 8 Mile because I thought you were quoting Lose Yourself.
No, no, no. But Get Out, in like one of the final scenes, he gets like drugged or something, right? And then he
I haven't
goes
watched
all
it.
the way back. Okay, you have to watch this movie. It's amazing. But
Okay.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but he goes all the way back in one scene, okay? And it's like he's in his body, but his conscience or his, whatever he's viewing from is fully like falling back.
Hmm.
And he can, like, as if like if these are my eyes and I go all the way back and then I'm going down into this abyss, right? It's all dark and it's like a window. And he's falling, 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 falling down. And then he stays down there and he's like trying to shout. And he's like, ah, okay. And like nothing's coming out.
Hmm.
It felt like that every time I went on stage with this anxiety. That's how this anxiety felt. That was one of the biggest challenges I had, anxiety.
Which is nuts because then how many people did you perform in front of in Abu Dhabi?
Oh my God, like what? I don't remember exactly. More than 1,000? More
Yeah.
than 2,000? I don't know. Like it was quite a few people. It was on the side stage.
Yeah.
So it wasn't obviously the stadium, but it was like a lot of people, a lot of people. Like even like Reflex Festival was 700 people plus. But then Abu Dhabi was like, oh, F1, this is going to be videoed and everything. So that increases the anxiety. But then my brother, Abhinav,
Yeah.
told me something that changed my life completely. Okay. He's like, you either fear anxiety or you eat it for breakfast. Okay? Eat the
I
anxiety,
just
eat
heard
it,
that
feed
two
on it.
days ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So he was like, don't fear it, feed on it. feed on the anxiety. If you're feeling anxious, that is some energy that's going to feed you. And then if you can turn that situation around, you're going to use it. And dude, anxiety with me was like a really bad thing. Like I'd go to the bathroom like 100 times and I'd be like shivering and I'm like, everything would tremble. I'd be scared of life when I was in that state of mind. Everything would scare me. I just wanted to be in my hole, in my little cave, you know? That was one of the biggest things that I had to overcome. And when I started overcoming that and like listening to what my brother said, take on a situation. When you're feeling anxiety, it's a sign that this is your situation. This is the place where you're going to grow. If you keep running away and fighting anxiety, it's keeping you in your comfort zone. When you keep running away from that fear, you're keeping yourself all cozy. But that cozy thing is just only stopping you from growing, right? It's keeping you stale. It won't let you create from a true place. Yeah. So I started to turn towards it and confront it and face it. And every time I had to face it, my whole body's shaking, my heart's beating, and I accepted it. Okay, this is where I am right now. Fine. As soon as I accept it, right, what happens? Some inner strength just appears out of nowhere.
Absolutely.
And literally, like, there were times when I just pray to God to be like, okay, God, this is what I'm feeling right now. Just, I don't know. I know that you're not going to take this away. I know that you're not going to take this away, but just give me the strength. Just give me the strength to go through it. And it would actually happen, right? Wow. And when that started to go away and slowly die down, I started becoming more confident and more present and commanding attention on stage. And I was not shying away from it anymore. And I still get nervous, you know, right? Every time before a performance, I get hella nervous, man. I'm like shaking and stuff. But what I do is now, I do some yoga, I'll do some martial arts, some stances, some stretches and breathing. And then I'm back, you know? So that really helped me a lot.
I'd love for you to talk about this because I know a big fear for you, and I asked you this before we started the show. In particular, when it came to your body image issues or how comfortable you felt with your body, like what was that like, breaking out from the fear of how you felt like you looked?
Okay, so this is a huge thing, and this is so true in my situation. I'm a very skinny guy, right?
Bro, but you've been going to the gym. I saw those photos.
Thanks, man. I'm trying.
You had a photo where it's like just chest was just like.
With yo, it's so hard, man. Like no matter how much. Okay, for those that don't know, Anna Gray knows this for ages. No matter how much I eat, I don't gain weight. Okay, I would eat, and if I miss one meal, I lose weight. And for a guy, that's a very thing that was a big thing I was insecure about, because if I mean, guys, masculinity, toxic masculinity, you got to be big, you got to be pumped, you got to have like yoked arms and shit. I never had that, and my brother has it now. It's amazing, but no matter how much I'm trying, it does not happen. Like my genes, my dad was very skinny. He was, how much is it in pounds? My dad was 45 kilograms when he got married. How much is that in pounds?
Just double what, 90, maybe under. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm still under 100 pounds as well.
It was I think it's just exactly 100 pounds or less than 100 pounds. Tiny, right? My dad was 100 pounds when he got married. My mom was 38 kilos when she got married. Okay. So it's in my family. There's nothing I can do about it. And I'm doing my best to just stay fit, stay healthy, but I can't be like this huge jack guy. So that stopped me from chasing my dreams. And every time I wanted to go and be someone on stage and be this, I wanted to be an actor as well. So the acting thing was a huge thing that I was very insecure about, my body image. I'm too skinny to be an actor. I'm too skinny to rap. Like, who's going to listen to this rapper and artist? Like, this guy's too skinny. Like, it's, you know, that stopped me. And every time I got into that mentality, I wanted to quit. I just wanted to quit. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I am literally fighting everything that's telling me not to be this right now. So maybe I should give up. And that was this voice, it's still there. That's the thing. Like, it's still there in my head, even to this day. But I have to keep on turning it off and being like, this is what I love to do, and I'm gonna do it. I don't care. I shouldn't care, right? And
Mm.
there are not many people in the world, because I know a lot of skinny guys who's like, yeah, I was so skinny and stuff. Like, yeah, you know, I just so skinny, I started going to the gym, and 6 months later they become huge. Yeah, it's because you started going to the gym. I've been going to the gym for so long. I've been working out, I've been doing a lot of shit, but there's things that sometimes my body can't. It's not going to do it. It's not my genes, my genetics. Like my family is this way, right? My brother somehow broke out of it. He got a little bit more of my mom's side genes and stuff, you know. So he was able to get it. But even when he was born, he was big boned. He had bigger bones. He was a heavier baby. I
Mm.
wasn't. I was premature born. I was a very skinny baby as well. So it just made me feel like, you know, I'm not cut out. I'm like an alien. It made me feel like I was some kind of freak show for the longest time. And even in school, I used to be very scared to go sports day. I hated wearing shorts. I don't like wearing shorts, like, you know, because it shows how
Mm.
skinny my legs are and stuff. And I wouldn't want to wear like half sleeves and stuff. And it's even now, like there was this one short film I did. I had to wear sports shorts and, you know, like a sports t-shirt and walk around. And the voice that was going through my head the night before was like, you're going to wear shorts. Like, do you realize like how many people are going to talk about your legs? There are people like how, and you know what? It was all in my head because I've improved in my fitness. My posture's improved and stuff. So no one commented anything when people saw the clips and stuff. They were like, damn, okay, you know what? And like, you know, the cinematographers, some of his friends were girls, like, he's kind of cute. I was like, what? Really? Like, no one's saying I'm skinny? Like, I just, really? Like, okay, maybe it's all in my head. Like, I am skinny, but like, maybe it's not as bad of a freak show thing that I thought it was, you know? Like, it's not
Right.
that. Maybe it's getting better. I don't know. But yeah, that was like the biggest thing I had to overcome. And I'm still overcoming. I have to
Mm.
constantly tell myself, stop. This is just a thought. It's okay. Whether it's real or not, learn to accept yourself the way you are. And the more you do, the more other people will. And my mom said this too. Be grateful for what you have. The more you think about yourself as this is who you are, love yourself for what you are, the more other people will accept that of you. And people will start to appreciate you for who you are. People will appreciate the skinniness, you know? My brother said, stop trying to be so big. Stop trying to do what I'm doing. It's okay. Don't try to be big. Just accept, because you're this artist, and when you reach a certain point, people will want to be skinny. And I was like, maybe yes, maybe no, but like it kind of gave me some self-love, like some hope and
Mm.
acceptance, and then like I'm okay,
Mm.
you know.
What do you think you would
It's
say in particular to
fine.
people who are struggling with body issues and they're kind of scared? Like, especially if it's, you know, because your career is very film, video. Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
different to anything else. So what would you say to someone who is struggling with body issues and is wanting to go into the entertainment industry particularly?
Yes. We've all seen exceptions, right? We've all seen people who are plus size, right? And who people love and admire because of what they do. We've all seen people who are like, you know, who don't have the perfect image of what it means to be beautiful and stuff. And you're like, wow, everyone's saying that they're so beautiful, they're so pretty, right? And you're like,
Mm.
it's not outer beauty, it's the inner beauty that counts. And it's your soul that reaches out to people. The reason some people say that, wow, this person is beautiful, so attractive, and it's because of what they have on the inside. And you can tell when someone who's really, really, really good looking and this, doesn't have soul, doesn't have,
Mm.
you know, compassion and stuff. It's just you feel that, okay, you're hot, but like, I don't know, I kind of don't want to get to know you kind of stuff, you know. um is it's more about like, it's more about how letting go of your uh, identification with your body, and allow yourself to really let yourself do the things that you have been gifted to do. Just do
Mm.
that, and let all other things fall into place. um right, like I was told by so many people, you're too skinny to be an actor, you're too skinny to do this, you're too thin, you don't have the looks for it. um you're I don't know, like so many other things, like your head is small or some shit, like your face is small and shit. Okay, cool, fine. I there's nothing I can do about things I can't change.
Right.
But I can be the best I can be with what I have, right?
Mm.
And when I started doing that, I got film after film after short film after short film, and now I'm working on a feature film, which I'm playing a villain. I'm playing one of the antagonists in this film. I never thought I could ever play that. Like I've always have this like, oh, this guy's so like, innocent, this cute boy, whatever. Like, oh, I'm playing a villain now. Like, that's crazy. I'm still skinny, but this director is seeing potential in me. And from what I do in my music videos, and the aggression I have on stage, and what I can do in my songs, people are seeing that I'm capable of much more than what I look like, you know?
Mm.
So let go of your identification with your body when you want to create. I know that you feel like, okay, I don't feel like I'm good enough. But when you want to do the things that you love, you have to let that identification go. Because this thing that you have, this gift, is pure. Don't let it be tainted with all the other thoughts in your head. Just let it do what it has to do. Then when you want to go back to that thought, like, oh, okay, stop. But just be open and to see that you are transforming the way people look at you. It's gonna happen. It's gonna
Mm.
change.
Bro, that's so good.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
I think we'll get ready to wrap up in a little bit, but I think just finishing off, like we said before, you are an intelligent guy and you had the choice. Am I going to pursue my artistry dreams or am I going to go into the corporate world? What would you say to someone who's deciding between those two?
There is no right or wrong. You can do either. You can go into the corporate world and make a lot of money, and if that brings you happiness, by all means, go for it. But if your passion is what you really, really want to do, there's no plan Bs. Don't make it to the side. Don't keep it like, oh, I'll be in the corporate world, but I'll keep this to the side. You will, at some point in time, feel like it's still not enough, and you will still feel like there's so much more, and you don't want to waste the time that you have right now. If you have time is the most valuable commodity, so make use of it. If you have to take that leap of faith, please by all means do it, because it is not it's not just failure on the end of it. It is much more than that. It is opportunities, it's growth, it's life changing, and you will never regret going for your passion. You will never ever regret it. Those years that you spent in your passion that go by, and if you decide, okay, maybe you don't want to do it anymore, you want to go back into the corporate world, you will go back into the corporate world with life, with spontaneity, with joy, with enthusiasm that has never before been seen. You will come into the corporate world with a much different dimension that most people go into the corporate world with. You will change the corporate world. You will change the teams around you. You will probably make your company better. But go for your passion first, because that's going to transform you. It's going to make you who you are, who you really, really want to be.
Bro, very good. I think that's something that's so true about you. Like with your music, I think, was it this year or last year? You were pumping out music like every month? Like, what was your schedule?
Every 2 weeks. Every
2 weeks.
/ every month, yeah.
And I think that just speaks so much to how you've seen so much growth in your life. You're still an early artist, but it's just you decided there's no plan B.
Yeah.
And you're just like, that's out of the window. I'm going for this. And it's one of the things, if you're going to go for your dreams, go hard for it. Go hard for it. Don't do it half-heartedly.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's all we have time for today. Ashwin, thank you so much. Appreciate it. If people want to find out about your music or who you are, what links can you provide them?
I can provide them with a lot of things. I mean, Xenai Music. Wait, how are you gonna like type this in onto YouTube?
It's gonna magically appear.
It's gonna magically appear. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Instagram, Twitter, SoundCloud, and my Spotify, I guess, or Apple Music, whichever you prefer.
Cool. Thank you everyone for listening. Have a beautiful rest of the day. Hope this inspired you and equipped you. You saying something?
Really quick. It's on YouTube. The music video is out on YouTube now.
Yes, we're gonna play it straight after this.
Okay.
Perfect. See you guys. Bye.
You play me a fool.